The Honourable Nikki Wagner.
Thank you very much, Mr Speaker. I rise to support this first reading of the Greater Christchurch Regeneration Bill, and I'd like to thank Dr Megan Woods for her support and for her kind words. We do need to make sure that the future brings the very best out of Cantabrians and that we make something not just good, but very good comes out of our tough times. The recovery, the redevelopment and now the regeneration of Greater Christchurch from the Canterbury earthquakes is an ongoing challenge. More than 15,000 earthquakes resulted in mass devastation, the loss of life, strain on our communities and damage to our built environment. And the government, facing a seemingly insurmountable task, made the Christchurch rebuild one of its 4 main priorities and committed over $16 billion to support Christchurch and its communities. In the last 4.5 years, the government has acted not just to replace what was lost in Greater Christchurch, but to build back smarter and to create more opportunities for Cantabrians, and I think we're making great progress. In December 2014, the Cricket Oval in Hagley Park became the first anchor project and was fully completed. We're a proud sporting province, Canterbury, and hosting thousands of visitors in February's 2015 ICC World Cricket Cup was good for our soul. The Te Papa Otakaro and Avon River Precinct work continues along the terraces and the new promenade, and already the environmental benefits can be seen in the precinct, and the Riverside Trail is being enjoyed by Cantabrians and visitors alike. More recently, the new bus exchange, it's operational, and it's built for the future and especially designed to be accessible to everyone. That interchange is expected to handle 70,000 passenger movements a day by 2041. We've also recognised the need for a place to reflect on what occurred during our earthquakes and to pay our respects to the 185 people who lost their lives on February 22nd, 2011. A national earthquake memorial has been approved to do just that, and Stage 1, the more informal family-focused area, will be ready for the anniversary of the February 22nd earthquake next year, and Stage 2, the more formal part of the memorial, will be ready for the following new year. Although much and still is being achieved under the current Act, the time is right for a change of approach, a change to move the focus away from rebuild and recovery towards regenerating and creating a 21st century new city, with everyone working to develop new opportunities for the people of Christchurch. This is what the Greater Christchurch Regeneration Bill is all about. It's about finishing projects begun during the rebuild period, but principally allowing Greater Christchurch communities to engage and embrace new opportunities. New opportunities for Christchurch to become fully functional again, not just with new buildings, but also engage communities with newfound civic pride and entrepreneurial spirit. The bill does feature some remnants of the current Canterbury Earthquake Recovery Act, but only those necessary to allow continued momentum. Other parts have been designed to ensure more voices are heard in the decision-making process, and I look forward to working closely with the community and the councils. The bill allows local government to not only be involved in decision-making, but to actively direct their own regeneration activities. The councils of Selwyn and Waimakariri have been active, working hard to provide new space for homes and industry. And they, along with Environment Canterbury and Te Runanga o Ngāi Tahu and the Christchurch City Council, will now be actively involved in ministerial decision-making in the form of regeneration plans. Regeneration plans will allow new ideas and even grand visions if they are so desired by their communities. The bill encourages the people of Greater Christchurch to have their say by providing for public input when regeneration plans are developed or are amended or are revoked. This bill also recognises that the out-of-the-ordinary and transitional role of central government in the regeneration of Greater Christchurch is expected to continue for the next 5 years.
Order. I'm just going to warn the member. You've got to sit down when I stand up. She has read her entire speech to date, and there are circumstances where members are allowed to read the speeches where they are very technical, and especially where a minister is introducing a speech or where the member is relatively inexperienced. I'm ruling that neither of those apply to this member. She's an experienced member. She's not introducing a bill, and frankly, it's not that technical. So I'm now going to ask the member to cease reading her speech.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Yes, and I will continue because, as I've said, that the Greater Christchurch is this bill will underpin the relationship between the council and local government for the next 5 years. But I think it will progressively move forward so that we move the power from the Crown to the local government and more back to a business as usual relationship that's similar to any other place across the country. It builds on significant progress that's been made over the last 5 years, and it will allow for an orderly transition from the Crown to local government. It will be a good time for Christchurch. It will mean that we will be able to realise the expectations of the people of Christchurch. We will be able to build a city that is people-friendly, that is smart, that provides opportunities for this generation and generations going forward. I commend the bill to the House.
The Honourable Ruth Dyson.
Mr. Speaker, I just want to first of all advise the Honourable Jerry Brownlee to stay in his seat because he otherwise might fall over. I want to congratulate him for this legislation. I can't recall doing that before.